Paul McGuire Grimes, ABC Minneapolis. Dan, it is really great talking to you today. I'm loving Loki season 2. So thank you for the time today. And I love your background right there with the handbook and Miss Minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, you've worked as a visual special effects supervisor for Marvel going back to Iron Man 3. How did that work then prep you for directing for the first time?
It's something, I'd always wanted to go into directing and something that, working with the Russo brothers, Sean Levy, all these different directors over the years, you get one of the nice side effects of being a visual effects supervisor on set is you stand behind the directors for the entire shoot. And so you
Right.
get this little film school class of, the decisions they're making. And so it's something that I was definitely interested in. It's something that the Russos truly supported when we were working on Infinity War and Endgame, and I directed additional photography on Endgame. And then I had done visual effects for season 1 on Loki, and then Kevin Wright, our executive producer, saw that when I talked about the effects and talked about designing sequences, with the effects, it grew beyond just effects and designing sequences. He's like, wow, this guy really talks about story. He really understands why this needs to happen this way. And so I was invited to do a direct on episode 2.
I love that. The Russos, I've talked to the Russos a couple times, and they're just really great to talk to. And I love all the vision that they've had for Marvel when they were there. It was really it was incredible.
Mhm.
Now you're directing season 2, episode 2. So did you talk to the director of episode 1 first, or the showrunner, to kind of get the overall vibe, or then do you kind of pass the baton to the director of episode 3 so there's this cohesion?
He did was really great. And it was something that Kevin Wright, our executive producer, and especially Tom Hiddleston, pushed for and made happen was that as the scripts got closer to shooting, we had the actors come in with the writers and all the directors in the room. And what we would do is we would go through the scripts, and it wouldn't just be our episode. It would be all the episodes with the different directors, and we would all contribute. We'd, come up with great ideas, and they'd be adapted into the story. But it kept, since everyone was in the room, we all knew the direction we were going. And so everything just, worked, really well.
I think that's really great to hear because you don't often hear that in television. I think directors sometimes come into a television series mid-season and they don't know what came before or after, or like how an actor works. And I think that collaboration is huge.
And I think a lot of that was Kevin Wright in terms of what they'd done in season 1, but it was also Tom's theater experience and having that camaraderie between the cast and company.
That's amazing, and I love the theater. I love the theater. So like knowing what he brings and how they can both work together. How do you think Marvel has changed since you first started working with them?
Well, the stories have changed. I mean, it's interesting. You went through the cycle of the Infinity War saga, and we always had said when we did Winter Soldier, and there was no way we could have done Civil War without having done Winter Soldier, and there was no way we could have done Infinity War without doing Civil War, and there's no way we could have done Endgame without doing, So it's something it was like training for the Olympics in a way, where you just got better and better, and we're able to kind of bigger ideas, bigger shows, and now going past the Infinity Saga, now it's especially with Loki, you're able to kind of slow down again and tell a story and spend a lot of time with Mobius and Loki in a room talking about their feelings and what they're afraid of and having really lovely scenes with really incredible actors.
Oh, their scenes together are kind of, I don't want to say what drive the show, but the banter and the chemistry that Tom and Owen have together is so great. And it just, I think, drives the show in a very different way than we get from some of the other Marvel series. And that's not to knock the other ones, but they're kind of like, you just love watching their banter. And then adding Ki Kwan to the mix this season is incredible. Now, what did you learn about yourself taking on directing for the very first time? Because it's a whole different beast than being a visual effects supervisor.
Sure, it was a lot of what and how I worked with the artists and visual effects I brought forward with me into directing. It was something that working with artists, you want them to be able to contribute, you want them to be able to build an idea. So I would always generally have an idea of what I wanted, but when I would pitch an idea or we talk about a scene or we talk blocking, you'd give them a frame, a box with them, so that, kept them within the scene. But within that box, which is very large, it's not like we could constrain them, but that creative box, they would, explore the scene, come up with ideas. And that's what you wanted to invite to happen, especially with this cast.
Mhm.
All amazing.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I loved Tara Strong this season as well. Like it's really firing in all cylinders. I'm curious, I feel like we don't get like Marvel spoilers or like I have no idea. I've seen 4 of the 6 episodes. I have no idea how the season's gonna end. So how does Marvel then keep that all under wraps? Like, do you get fake scripts? I mean, you were all in the room together, so you know how it's all gonna end, but like how does that happen behind the scenes?
I think we've all been conditioned now. I think when I first got here in Iron Man 3, it was no, it was Civil War, or no, Winter Soldier. We were over in El Segundo, and they had basically a group meeting on the America's Funniest Home Video set, where they talked about don't talk about Marvel, and so
Right.
it's just something that we just gotta carry on with this. I think.
Right. And you want to keep those secrets together. Like there's no one behind the scenes that like you want to do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I describe it sometimes as like, it's like you want the kids to be surprised at Christmas, and,
Yeah.
and there's going to be the kids that are going to, break into the locked closet and they're going to figure out what the presents are. But for the most part, you want everyone to be surprised with what
I
we're.
love it. It's Christmas. I got the wrap. Dan, thank you for the time today. I appreciate it. And I hope everyone is loving season 2 like I have.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.